Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 35 of What If Izuna Uchiha Was Naruto's Ancestor. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and go ahead and check out What If Naruto Was Neglected by Everyone that I posted over on Anime King 2. And I also posted a new episode of What If Naruto is a Badass Genius. So go ahead and check out that as well and enjoy guys. And on this channel I posted What If the 10 Tails was sealed inside of Naruto. So go ahead and check out that as well. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support guys. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails.
So, the last part we left off, Naruto explained to Hiruzen and Kakashi about Hashiman and Kaguya, as both Hashiman and Kaguya came together once Kaguya came to Earth, as Hashiman was known as God of War, as he was a powerful being with intense power that humans didn't possess yet. As the both of them came together, as the both of them had kids, the Sage of Six Paths and his brother, Kaguya wanted more. She wanted more power as she ate the fruit of the tree and gained intense power as Hashiman realized that she was going insane with power and he had to do something about it. So, as much as he didn't like it, he had to fight her. The Sage of Six Paths, Hashiman, and his brother fight Kaguya as it took years but they defeated her. The Sage of Six Paths wanted to spread chakra around the world, but Hashiman didn't want that. So the Sage of Six Paths took him on because he was weak, as he separated Hashiman's chakra and created the 9 Bijus and sealed Hashiman into the moon. As Naruto is going by what Hashiman wanted to do in the first place, to take away chakra from everyone, so that is Valkyrie. Naruto wanted to bring back the Jubi and use his power to draw away all chakra from human being. As Sarutobi said that was madness, what if he failed? What if he brought back the Jubi and he wasn't able to stop it? There was no Sage of Six Paths around. What was he going to do then? As Naruto told him that he will not fail, he has come too far to fail. Meanwhile, Tsunade and Jiraiya was fighting as Gamabunta was knocked down as acid burned the left side of his face. As he told Jiraiya to get out of here, he cannot win. As Gaara, who was standing on Shikaku's head, was fighting him as well. As Jiraiya glared at Tsunade as he told her she made the wrong choice and he was going to take the one person away from her, which she come to care about. As Tsunade smiled a sad smile as Jiraiya headed off. The entire villagers were all retreated, as most of them were in the mountains, the Hokage statue, most of them were in the secret bunker up there, but Itachi transformed as one of the leaf ninjas and he brought most of them out of the village. As Naruto told Sarutobi if his comrades die here or if he died, he wanted proper burial and he's going to do the same thing for him. As Sarutobi agreed to that, it was unnatural but he agreed. But suddenly there was a loud explosion as the entire monument was destroyed by Naruto forces. As Sarutobi realized Naruto was lying, he was doing all of this to buy time so that he could destroy the Hokage's monument, killing all of the civilians inside. As Sarutobi was beyond pissed as he summoned his staff and dashed towards Naruto. Naruto gathered the Kyuubi's chakra into his fist and slammed it into the ground as Sarutobi was sent sailing. As Naruto then looked at Kakashi and told him that this is the end. He had cared for him and he had raised him, but he will not stand in his way. And Kakashi was determined to stop him, as Naruto has done so much things. He has changed. He's not the same boy. As Kakashi was going to fight all out, not holding back, as Naruto told him that he shouldn't. Meanwhile, Sasuke had subdued the Sand Kazekage as he stabbed the Kazekage right through the stomach as the man was on the ground, as Haku was there as well. As Kurenai was suffering, as she was seeing the memories of herself and that demon traitor, as she couldn't understand why was she sleeping with him. This was some sort of genjutsu or something. As Asuma found her and brought her through the forest of the death, as there was a way there to get out of Konoha. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can check across the place and check it out for yourself. So let's start this new episode. I couldn't do anything to protect you, Naruto. I always knew there was a seed of hatred burning inside of you. I tried to guide you from the darkness towards the light, but I failed. So the only thing left is for me to stop you. And that means killing you, even if I have to do it with my own hands. I have always loved you like my own son, and I will always will. I want you to understand, no matter the path that you have chosen, I will always love you forever. So will I, Kakashi, said Naruto, as he was barely controlling his feelings, as he speaks through hand sign. Fire style, great fire annihilation, Naruto said. With a heavy heart, he fired a tsunami of flames towards Kakashi. Kakashi finished his hand sign and Hiruzen jumped back into the fight, both of them releasing attacks towards Naruto, giant sea of flames. Fire release, burning missile, Hiruzen said. Water style, ripple crusher, said Kakashi. As Hiruzen stream of fire shot towards Naruto fire, and Kakashi tidal wave shot towards it as well. Their combo attack collided with Naruto's tsunami of fire, as it was fighting off each other for dominance, but Naruto's fire was overwhelmed by the both of them and destroyed. Kakashi narrowed his eyes dangerously when a thick mist surrounded the entire area, engulfing him and Hiruzen in it. So he converted the moisture generated from our attacks into mist. A smart move, said Hiruzen seriously. Hiruzen-sama, guard my back, I have a plan, said Kakashi. As Hiruzen nodded, as Sarutobi saw shadows everywhere. Instead of attacking the shadows, he closed his eyes as he let his senses take over. Somewhere in this mist was Naruto watching them, waiting for the moment, the right exact moment to strike. Kakashi didn't know when it started, but he heard a piano playing, a soft, gentle tone, as it smooth, cool, blew through the area. As he heard the music, as he wanted to know where it was coming from, as he started to walk towards the source, everything else around him went blank, as he could only hear that music guiding him towards it. A music that took him back to his origins. As he saw a shadow, as he raised his hand to touch where the music was. Kakashi, no! As Kakashi was suddenly smacked by the end of a kunai that Hiruzen had threw at him, snapping him out of the hypnotized trance. As he came back to his senses, a new panic rang in his heart as he didn't see Hiruzen anywhere. As he looked around, a sound genjutsu, Kakashi said. As Kakashi then saw them, those eyes, as Naruto Mangeto shine, Kakashi quickly jumped back. As he then grunted in pain, as a kunai was planted in his lower area, his lower back making him grunt out in pain. Kakashi, just give up, as the words rang through the mist. You couldn't protect Obito or Ren, or my father. You couldn't do anything to stop my father from dying, even your own father. This world will drive you into darkness. This world is full with nothing but corruption and lie and hatred. Hiruzen gritted his teeth as those words were just echoing all around the mist, as Naruto was using mind warfare, as he was trying to traumatize Kakashi, so he would be less open to attack. As Hiruzen could see the pain in Kakashi's eyes, it was working against him. Kakashi, stand your guard, said Hiruzen, snapping his soldier out of his depressed state. Said Kakashi, my name is Hiruzen Sarutobi. I am the Hokage of Konoha. And if I die today, then I will go down, being known as Hiruzen Sarutobi, now soldier. Stand with me, Hiruzen said, as Kakashi snapped his head up, as Hiruzen was still willing to fight, despite what happened to his people and the village. Such determination made him worthy of the title of the Hokage. Yes, sir, said Kakashi confidently. Kamui! As Hiruzen saw Kakashi Mangeto start to spin, as all the mist started to be sucked into a portal that Kakashi had formed. As they saw Naruto sitting on top of a rooftop, a strange twinkle was in his eyes, as he never expected Hiruzen to bring Kakashi out of the depression so quickly. As Hiruzen then vanished, as he appeared behind Naruto and drive the kunai down, straight through his skull, as Naruto burst into crows. Enough with the genjutsu, Naruto, said Hiruzen. Show yourself. The real Naruto appeared on another rooftop, which was just a few feet away from Hiruzen. He saw Kakashi jumping on the rooftop behind him, as a smirk came on Naruto's face as he saw what they were about to do. Hiruzen made the first move as he expanded his staff as it headed straight towards Naruto's heart, as Naruto quickly started to jump back. But he was stopped when Kakashi threw a volley of shuriken at him. Chidori Senbon, as he neutralized all of the shuriken sent at him. But Enma thrust out his hand from the staff as the Great Monkey King hand was infused with so much power behind it as he crushed it into Naruto's ribs. As Naruto went down as he coughed up some blood, one of his ribs was definitely broken as Kakashi channeled chakra into his palm, as lightning started to dance around his hand, as Kakashi then threw smoke bombs over to Naruto as it filled the area. As Kakashi emerged behind Naruto with his signature move, Chidori! Naruto reacted instantly and grabbed Kakashi's arm as a smirk came on Kakashi's lip. Clown Great Explosion. The Kakashi turned out to be a clone who exploded as it sent Naruto flying. As the smoke cleared, Kakashi and Hiruzen saw Naruto as his body was covered by the Beidou chakra, healing him. As Kakashi gestured towards Hiruzen, as Hiruzen made his staff shrink as it fit right into Kakashi's arm. Hiruzen then speed through hand signs as he did his next attack, Earth style, Mud Dragon. The ground beneath Naruto's feet turned into a muddy surface as a Earth Dragon rose up, glaring at him dangerously. The Mud Dragon started to fire mud bullets at him as Naruto started to dodge and fly past all of them, as he quickly threw an explosive tag that stuck right into the mud and exploded, destroying the jutsu. To his surprise, Kakashi emerged from the hidden alley with a smaller version of Hiruzen's staff. This one looked like a baton, but Naruto knew the damage this weapon would inflict on him would be fatal, as Kakashi tossed it at him with great force, but Naruto dodged, as he then heard someone caught it right behind him, as he looked to see Hiruzen, and the man was in close range now, as Naruto tried to punch Hiruzen, but Hiruzen ducked and slammed the staff right between Naruto's legs. If that wasn't bad enough, Kakashi grabbed him from behind, as he lifted up Naruto and slammed him down on the hard surface. As Naruto felt another set of his bones started to crack, as Naruto pulled himself away and jumped back, as the both of them jumped towards him. Amaterasu, Naruto said, as the black flames was right on time, as flames erupted on Hiruzen's left arm, as Hiruzen cried out in pain, as Kakashi knew what he had to do to save Hiruzen, but his plans were stopped as Naruto appeared behind him and buried his fist into Kakashi's back and sent him flying away. Hiruzen was now on his knees as his staff was a few feet away as Naruto pulled out a kunai and tossed it towards Hiruzen, but it was stopped by Enma, who transformed back into his monkey form. As Hiruzen then pulled a kunai as he sliced right through his left arm, taking it off as it dropped to the ground as the black flames consumed the thing, as it turned to ashes and disappeared in the air. Hiruzen, you, Enma said in shock, as he saw Hiruzen bleeding stump as he was healing it. For a moment, Naruto felt guilty when he saw Hiruzen in so much pain. He hesitated as he remembered all of the good time he had with the old man. As he looked towards his future, all he could see was more conflict and an unending pain. He knew the path that he had chosen, but it didn't make it any easier for him. Even now as he watched Konoha in ruins, the people dead, dying or injured, the leader in pain, he felt empty. Deep down he knew he wasn't like Sasuke. He could not fight for revenge. People fought for a better future, to have a brighter tomorrow, but for him, it was only eternal darkness. His past, his present and his future, all of it was engulfed in darkness and misery. His parents were dead, his friends and family left behind, his comrades were lying in grave, and his daughter was long gone. And the most heartbreaking fact is that the woman he loved will never accept him. She has chose to be his enemy. Suck it up, Naruto, you can't give up now, he said to himself. He quickly started to jump from rooftop to rooftop as Enma, along with Kakashi, started to chase after him, trying to catch him. As Kakashi knew that Naruto wasn't really good with close hand combat, he was the one that taught him in the first place. As they want to catch him, and if the both of them did, they will inflict some serious damage on him. As he was now at the edge of Konoha, as he then jumped on the wall and flipped over. The moment he did, an injured Hiruzen appeared behind him, as Naruto smirked as the trio had surrounded him. I guess you leave me no choice, Naruto said calmly, as he bit his thumb as he wiped some blood and speed through hand signs. summoning jutsu as it was a huge poof. When the smoke cleared, Kakashi and Hiruzen were shocked to see Naruto standing on top of a large crow, the largest crow they had ever seen in their life. The creature was almost large as half of the area of the district. Its shadow loomed over the dense part of the forest. Its sharp eyes were focused on them as it flapped its wings wildly, releasing gusts of winds everywhere. The time for small fights is over. Let's end this one way or another, Naruto said. Kakashi bit his thumb and slammed his hand on the ground as Hiruzen jumped on top of Enma as Enma started to get larger and larger and larger. Summoning jutsu, said Kakashi, as Enma was now a giant monkey, his original size that he used in the summoning realm. He was taller than the Hokage's mountain that Naruto has just destroyed, and he was larger than all of Jiraiya's toad. The bloodthirsty look in his eyes made him look ferocious, and Hiruzen stand on top of his head. On the other side, Kakashi was standing on top of a giant brown-colored dog. It had a lot of sharp teeth and 5 large tails. Its paw contained large nails, and it was breathing fire from its mouth. As Naruto knew that he was outnumbered, and compared to his summon, his crow gave him flight. That gave him air superiority, but... Enough, Naruto! Fighting is meaningless now! You're done, Kakashi said, as he thought the boy might listen to him now. Meaningless? Meaningless, Naruto said. You're injured and outnumbered. The fight is futile. Give up, Hiruzen said, as he saw Naruto's bleeding from his chest, as Enma has injured the boy greatly by breaking his ribs and damaging his internal organs. As he found it hard to believe that Naruto was still standing. Futile? Then why did Ren die? Why did Shin and Sai die? Naruto asked. Neither Kakashi or Hiruzen have any answer for his questions. The only thing they could do was give him guilty looks. Kakashi, maybe it's not possible for us to coexist peacefully in this world, Naruto said sadly. It's still not too late, Kakashi said. Surrender, Naruto. As he wondered why was the boy so goddamn stubborn, even when facing death. The time that we spent together may be brief, but it was fun, said Naruto, as a gentle smile appeared on his lips. Naruto, don't do this. You will die if you keep on fighting, pleaded Kakashi. Despite everything he doubted, he could bring himself to kill the boy who he loved so much. You're a Konoha ninja, Naruto said. Naruto, said Kakashi. Hiruzen closed his eyes as he understood what Naruto's words meant, as he looked at Kakashi, who was still hell-bent on saving the boy. I truly wish things didn't have to end this way, Kakashi. My friends, my daughter, died because of Konoha. That is why there is no need for us to show our guts to each other. Fight with me till the end, Kakashi Atake, Naruto said. As Kakashi swallowed harshly, despite everything, the both of them were family, and it was affecting Kakashi to fight all out against him. As Kakashi clenched his fist as tears threatened to spill from his eyes, this was unbearable. Only now we understand Naruto's pain to kill the one dearest to you. That was a test that Danzo made Naruto go through. And now Kakashi was facing the same test, just as he had faced it with Rin. Kill your emotions, Kakashi. Our duty will destroy you, said Naruto, as he repeated Shin's words, the last words he said to him before he died. As Naruto knew right now, he was in the same dilemma as Shin, and Kakashi was facing the same thing. Naruto, don't make me do this, Kakashi pleaded, as tears were visible in his eyes. Don't shed a single tear. Didn't I just tell you to kill all emotion from your heart? Asked Naruto in a rather angry tone. Why couldn't this man just fight and kill him? Why was he hesitating when he knew that Naruto had hurt his friends and killed many people in Konoha? Why? All of the conversation was silence as Enma made a large jump and head straight for the crow. Shiro, now, said Naruto. The crow opened his mouth and created a loud noise that made Enma dizzy as he grabbed his ears in pain, as Naruto dived from the crow and went straight towards Hiruzen. Hiruzen quickly summoned several demon shurikens and tossed them towards Naruto. A lot of people had put their faith in me. I won't fail them, Naruto thought, as Naruto created a clone right in front of him who fired off several shurikens and kunais to knock away Hiruzen's demon shurikens. As Hiruzen tossed more, but the clone jumped in the way, taking a full blunt of them. Chidori's spear, said Naruto, as Naruto wasn't aiming at Hiruzen, as a large spear of electricity pierced right into Enma's eye, as Enma cried out in pain. The monkey had completely lost sight in one of his eyeballs now. As Hiruzen rushed forward, as Naruto landed on Enma's head, as the Chidori spear disappeared, and Naruto was now holding his sword in his hand. Hiruzen's eyes wide in horror when the sword erupted into flames. This is the end for you, Enma, said Naruto calmly. No, said Hiruzen as he dashed forward. As Naruto drove the sword down into Enma's head, as he gathered a large amount of power. Flaming torch, Naruto said, as the spear fire spread down into Enma's head, roasting his brain alive. As Hiruzen felt Enma's life fading away, his partner that he had known for many years now. As Enma's body collapsed to the ground, as he poofed away, disappearing from the world forever. The large puff of smoke was the only thing left of Enma. There was another large scream as Kakashi's dog was enveloped in black flames, as several Reich soldiers surrounded Kakashi as the dog poofed away. As they looked up to see Sasuke with a pair of Mangita Sharingan. Looking towards Hiruzen, Naruto realized he had to end this quickly, or Sasuke would do something when there is no coming back, as much as a pain in the ass he was. Naruto still considers Sasuke's family, as rain started to pour from the sky, drenching the burning land. As Naruto started to walk towards Hiruzen, as a faint smile was on Hiruzen's lip. Pain was in Naruto's eyes, but yet there was conviction within them. Naruto truly believed that this was the only path left for him. Naruto hesitated for a moment as he looked at the man that was once his grandfather. Your people are not dead, they live, Naruto said. As Hiruzen looked at him with relief. So Naruto did all of that just to make him angry. A brilliant tactic. Just so he will lose his temper in battle. You kept your word, said Hiruzen as his eyes became very moist. Will you surrender, or be fear, Naruto said, as a tiny hope lingered in his heart, but it vanished when Hiruzen gave a sad smile. You're an honorable man, Naruto. You surpass me. You surpass Kakashi. You of all people can understand the burden of my comrades. Just don't make my people pay for my mistakes, requested Hiruzen as he saw Naruto struggling to control his tears. I promise, Naruto said. Hiruzen fell down on his knees. His body was exhausted and he couldn't fight anymore, as Naruto had his sword in his hand. As Hiruzen still knew that Naruto had held back, he did not release his full power. He did not even use the full capability of the Mangita Sharingan. He wanted to fight them on equal terms. Despite the hatred he had for Konoha, he had been merciful. Naruto's hand trembled as he pointed his sword towards Hiruzen, as he could no longer control his tears as they slipped from his eyes. Do not fear, this is the path that you have chosen. Compared to your pain, mine will be instant. The path ahead of you is full of struggle and sorrow, but I know you will walk it. And one day your suffering will come to an end, just as mine will today. Naruto drove his sword forward as he burst right through Hiruzen's chest, as it was quick, as he stabbed right through Hiruzen's heart. The old man didn't even feel it. As Hiruzen just looked at Naruto, as Naruto removed his sword and went down to his knees as he hugged Hiruzen. I forgive you, Jiji, he said. As Hiruzen hugged him back, you truly are a kind child. As Hiruzen felt dead in Naruto's arms, as Haku watched as Naruto cradled Hiruzen's body. The battle was over, but the war has just started. Several Reich and Sound ninjas came forward as Naruto made them lift Hiruzen's corpse on their shoulder. He still had tears in his eyes as he gave a firm salute to his fallen commander. As his men followed, as they paid respect to the Hokage who had fought and bled and died for the village. As Naruto then saw Shin, Rin, and Sai, even his family, all of his deceased friends, as all of them are distance away, all of them giving him a smile. As Hiruzen joined them. We shall meet again, Naruto said, but not yet. Time skip. The cool breeze hit his long, blonde hair. He really needed a haircut, that was all he thought, as it made him chuckle. He was wearing a dark jacket, as he was wearing a blue pants, as his scarf was missing from his face. As the cigarette in his hand was burning, it had already burned halfway, but he has not even taken a single puff. One day your suffering will come to an end, just as mine end today, Hiruzen's words echoing his head. It has been a week since that day, but Naruto still remembers everything that happened, everything imprinted in his brain. Now as he observed the reconstruction of Konoha, he wondered how everything will change. Not just for this village, but for the Sand Village as well. Toby surprised him. He defeated all of the Sand defense forces. The Sand Village was now under his control. Just 2 days back, he appointed Gaara as the Kazekage, the youngest Kazekage ever to exist. And he would only answer to Naruto himself. Sound Country was already being ruled by him, and with the fall of Konoha, he was controlling half of the Fire Nation already. The pieces were falling into pieces, and he was becoming the emperor of the world. Soon enough he will rule over all, as those who hated him put their weapons towards him. But the Reform, who wanted a change, had joined his side. It was a worldwide civil war, a revolution. Those things are not good for your health, said a voice, as he threw the cigarette down the cliff as Haku came beside him. On the outside, she seemed like her normal, beautiful, calm self. Yet he could sense the annoyance in her heart, and with good reason. You've been avoiding me, said Haku, as he simply stared at the village. I've been avoiding a lot of things. You're just one of them, Naruto said. Are you okay, Naruto? Haku asked, as she saw him smile, that smile that she had come to love. I am dealing with my issues. The Battle of Konoha changed me in more ways than you can imagine. Explained Naruto, gaining an inquisitive look from her. You forgave Hiruzen after everything he did to you. You spared the life of all the civilians who abused you for years. Asked Haku, as she clearly seemed frustrated with the choices he had made. Why? And she was not the only one. Majority of his soldiers, supporters, and even Sasuke disagreed with the choices that he made. A tired sigh escaped from his lips. He never expected them to understand, but he was glad that they accepted his decisions, regardless. Turning towards her, he saw the same bitterness in her eyes that he had when he heard about Ren's death. Both of them were alike in more ways than anyone could ever imagine. He saw himself in her as he placed a hand on her cheek and pushed away a strand of hair that was falling on her face. Life is too short for revenge and grudges. We have to let go sometime, or we will be crushed under the burden. I once had a loving family, Haku said. Wonderful parents who care for me. And all of that came to misery when my father found out that my mother was from a Kekkei clan. Just like Hiruzen, he forget all of the bonds that we had, and he tried to side with the bloody Mist village and tried to kill my mother and me. My mother sacrificed her life to save mine. The man who I respected and loved as my father betrayed us. He made me an orphan. Some things you can forget and some things you can't, Haku said, as pain and anguish was visible in her voice and in her words. She closed her eyes when he pulled her towards him, as he simply held her tight, as her pain seemed to wither away. Seems we both have screw-up families, if it makes you feel any better. My parents seal a monster inside of me. Talk about tough love, Naruto joked, as he chuckled. It must have taken a lot of courage to make the decisions that you've made till now. You never cease to amaze me, Haku said, as he let go of her, as the both of them were now side to side to each other, as they were observing the peaceful village. It's hard to believe that this was ground zero to a full-scale war barely a few days ago. I did it for myself. I wanted to see Hiruzen for the man that I cared about. I saw a glimpse of that at the end. He had suffered too, Haku. He asked for my forgiveness, and even if he hadn't, I would have still forgive him. Regardless of his intentions, Hiruzen was one of the few people who showed me kindness. He took me in his home. He gave me a family. He had my back. Sure, he did make mistakes, but he did more for me than my parents ever did. I will never forget that. For me, Hiruzen will always be the gentle, kind grandfather who guided me, and not the harsh Hokage who put duty over family, stated Naruto clearly. And the villagers? They didn't ask for forgiveness. They still hate you even more now, Haku said. They are of no concern to me. They already pay the price for their mistake by losing their freedom. They're slaves and I'm the ruler. That's the harshest punishment they can ever get. The boy who they treated like crap now rule over them. Same go for Gaara. After years of harsh treating, Gaara now rule over his village. And now all I want to do is save this dying world. said Naruto with pure determination burning in his eyes. Naruto, Haku said. But to do so, I cannot be the killer I once was. To honor my friend's memory, I must become someone else. I must become something else. Haku smiled on hearing his goal. This was just like him. The more she tried to understand the mystery that was Naruto, the more she fell in love with him. I sometimes wonder, how can you endure everything? I don't know what I would have done if I was in your place, she said calmly. I don't have a choice. From the start, people look to me for leadership, for me to lead. I can't afford to fall into pieces. I need to make the right decisions. If I grieve or indulge in my personal decisions, the others don't get to do that, Naruto explained. You're still a human being. You're allowed to have feelings. You can't hide behind your mask forever. I'm not, Naruto said. Then what about us? Where do we stand, she said, as she saw surprise in his eyes for her getting to the point like that. He took a deep breath as he glanced at the dark sky. He then looked back at her. It's because of the life that I live. I cannot be with the people I love. I just can't, he said, as she grasped his arms. When I looked into Hiruzen's eyes, I saw something. One day it will be me, because of this life I have chosen. It only ends one way, he said, as he couldn't look at her, because if he did, he would crumble. So that's it. You're just gonna spend the rest of your life running away from love. You're doing the same thing to me which Kurenai did to you. I'm sorry, but I can't agree with you on this. Because from the things I have learned in my life, I realize that life, you need to take advantage of everything that comes your way. You need to treat your precious things close and treat them with respect and love. As she then released him as she got up, as she started to walk away. Haku, I am sorry. Save it, she shouted. Don't come talking to me for anything other than professional duty. We're done talking until you stop isolating yourself. Stop being a tragic hero. I don't expect you to understand, but I want to protect you, said Naruto calmly. I don't need your protection. Every idiot realizes their mistake, and you will too, in time. When that day comes, I'll be waiting. Until then, we're done. Why are you doing this, Haku? Naruto said, as she simply scoffed. It is for your own good. Deep down, your desires is to have a family, a wife, children, and live your life in peace. But you're so afraid of becoming like your parents, making the same mistake they did. You push everyone away. You're a good man, but you're a goddamn idiot, she shouted furiously. She surprised him by coming forward as she punched him in the gut. Before he could react to the pain, she kissed him. He had barely felt the touch of her lips before she turned around and walked away. Her words had hit straight home, and he knew she was right. As she walked away, he was losing her. It was gonna be just like Kurenai. Could he truly stop the past from repeating itself? Could he truly not become like his parents? Haku, he said. A frustrated snarl escaped from her lips, but she stopped. She heard him walking towards her, and after a deep sigh, she turned around. What? She shouted, making him flinch. Calm down. Just give me some time to think about this, requested Naruto, but she shook her head. I already given you enough time. You just can't make up your goddamn mind. Why are you cursing so much? You never do that, said Naruto, as she rolled her eyes. Because that is what people do when they're pissed, which I am right now. You say you're different from your other rude comrades, but you're just dumb. You can't understand the emotion of people, much less the love of a woman. Don't screw up your mind completely, or you're just a dumbass, she said. You're being mean, Naruto said. And what are you gonna do about it, she asked. What are you gonna do, command me to go away? Because Naruto Uchiha commands me to leave him, and not love him, because he's afraid of love, he's afraid of woman? I can totally see you doing that, she said. I like her, Kurama said. She's got balls already. Wait, that's a mistake, Kurama said. God damn it, Kurama. Don't make me regret giving you free will, said Naruto. Is that what you call for giving me free will? Because last time I checked, I'm still locked up in a damn cage, said Kurama, but deep down he knew he was in Naruto's death, as Naruto was much more kind than he thought he would ever be and merciful. Even after what he did, Naruto still gave him some freeness and talked to him regularly. After his ordeal with Hiruzen, Kurama had asked Naruto to forgive him, as Naruto stared at him for a long time. Just stop being miserable, you annoying fox, Naruto said. Kurama had never laughed so hard. Even though things were still frosty between them, they were getting back into that sync. They were a long way from trusting each other though, at least Naruto was. But Naruto had finally decided to forgive him. He needed the fox just as much as Kurama needed him. What do you think of her, of all of this? Am I making the right choice, Naruto thought. I don't know about that, but what I know is that if you turn away now, you'll be making the biggest mistake. You took a leap of faith for me. She has done more for you than I ever did, Kurama said. I'm screwed up, Kurama. I just don't want her to get hurt from anything, even if it's myself. Maybe, but she will be crushed if you push her away. You need her as much as she needs you. And Naruto, before you make a decision, know that there will be a day when Kurenai see what Haku see right now. What will you do then? Think about it, said Kurama. Naruto was silent for a few moments. He had not left a loophole by sealing Kurenai's memory on request. She will never remember what they were, but what if she did and came back to him? Oh crap, Naruto thought. I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there. For now, he said, as he was heavily conflicted. Good luck, Naruto, said Kurama. Haku flipped his forehead as she snapped him from his trance as he looked back at her. As Naruto stepped forward and wrapped his arms around her waist, he then kissed her. As she didn't pull back, she enjoyed the kiss. As he breathed the kiss, I love you, he said. I love you, Haku. He had finally said it after months of denial and trying to push her away. He had finally said it. As her legs felt weak, but he held her. You're an idiot, but you're my idiot, said Haku, as tears fall from her eyes. But guys, be ending this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn the bell notification to stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And yeah, go ahead and check out the other episodes. And I do hope that you guys enjoy each and every one of them. But for now, I'm out of here, guys. Peace.